Hello, thanks for being in a new video. This time I have unboxing of the iPad Pro with M4 processor. Let's get started. In this case, the iPad Pro comes available in two sizes, 11 and 13 inches. The edition I have here is the larger 13 inches is also more expensive. So the price of the most basic model of the smaller configuration in Mexico is 24,909 pesos. On the screen you see the reference price in dollars, just to have an idea. But remember that the prices here are not the same as there. This 13-inch model in its most basic storage edition is priced at 32,499 pesos. Again, the screen shows the reference price in dollars, but remember that the prices here are not the same as over there. Of course, you can buy more expensive versions if you want more storage, nano textured screen, and want to buy other accessories, as remember that it comes without Apple Pencil and no keyboard or anything like that. So it is really very expensive, but come on. Let's explore what it has to offer. Let's carefully take the iPad out of this box. Apple's packaging always feels quite premium, so in this regard we are bound to find a very pleasant experience. In this particular model we will only find two colors available, space black and silver. Essentially we could summarize these as a light edition and a dark edition. Now, let's remove all this packaging and get directly to the iPad. But before we focus on the iPad, let me take a moment to see what else is included in the box, because we don't have enough space to display everything all at once. So, here comes a small box. Inside this box, we are going to find the documentation, which is better known as the paperwork of a lifetime. It's important to remember that Apple has not been including stickers for some time now, so you can only order them at Apple stores if you make your purchases in those official stores. In this package, we will also find a relatively small and straightforward charger, specifically a charger rated at 20 watts. For this video review, we are going to test if it can support charging at a slightly faster rate than 20 watts. For now, I will show you that this is what is included, which is already good news because it comes with a charger. Remember that all iPhones no longer come with a charger, so here you can benefit from this charger and the USB-C to USB-C cable with a braided design to prevent breakage. Easily. Even though it's rather short, I would have preferred a somewhat longer cable, especially since on tablets it might be useful to work while charging the device, so the cable ends up being a bit short. Luckily it does include a charger and that's pretty much it. As I mentioned, there's no Apple Pencil, no keyboard or anything similar included. Optionally, you can purchase the Magic Keyboard for this model, and its official price in Mexico is 7,999 pesos. So, absolutely, if you're considering using this tablet as a kind of substitute for a laptop, I believe that at that price point, when you take into account the cost of the iPad, along with the cost of the accessory, it becomes much more practical to purchase a laptop which is likely to provide you with more storage space. Therefore, to be honest, it's not very cost effective. However, if the price isn't a major concern for you, let me go ahead and show you what this accessory can offer us, because in terms of aesthetics, it will provide us with something appealing. Definitely feels quite premium. Let's remove this now. Let's take out this accessory. Honestly, it's heavier than I expected. But let's see if removing these inner boxes reveals something lighter. And indeed it feels very premium. The hinge is quite rigid, allowing the iPad to be adjusted at various angles. But I must say, it feels heavier, so I emphasize, considering the price and practicality. In terms of weight, I would say it's more convenient a computer, but in the Apple ecosystem, Macs don't have touchscreens. So in some ways, it's still justified. Note that the iPad will somehow appear to be floating thanks to the design that this accessory has, so it's very nice. Consider also that if a trackpad is added, that you could also take advantage of it in some applications if you want to control it that way, although always having a touchscreen is much more practical to use this feature. But well, unlike laptops, in this case we have this practicality of being able to disassemble the tablet completely and use it individually. By the way, I forgot to show you that on the Magic Keyboard, we will also find a USB-C connector. And it has these pins that will connect to the iPad, so you can take advantage of it so that it ends up having two USB-C ports, which can be convenient. But let me tell you more about the specifications of this device. It's 5mm thick and has a weight of 579 grams for the 13-inch version. The screen is an OLED with a resolution of 2752 by 2064 pixels. It provides a refresh rate that Apple refers to as promotion, which is 120 Hz. However, it can vary down to 10 Hz when you're looking at static content, making it quite power efficient. The display, I believe. It's amazing from any angle, reducing reflections effectively. It features True Tone, adjusting white tones to match the environment. Plus it's HDR compatible, reaching a peak of nits with such content. If you opt for the TB or TB version, you can select a nano-textured glass display, though it will be significantly pricier and likely. Will be something similar to Huawei's Papermate. Here I have a comparison for you to see more or less clearly, although I think the iPad in this finish already rejects reflections quite well. But the nano textured finish will definitely enhance this aspect. However, as I mentioned, that option is excessively expensive. Like many tablets, it includes a variety of speakers. Notice that we have two grills on the right side and also two grills on the left side. The sound quality is actually very good, which makes it quite adequate for consuming multimedia content. Here at the front, we're going to find a camera and a Face ID detection system. This camera is 12 megapixels, has a wide-angle lens and features an f aperture. As you can see, it is a fairly wide camera and offers us two different viewing angles depending on your needs. This seems to me to be a very good implementation, unlike what Samsung does by including two unnecessary cameras, so in this regard, it stands out. I believe I like Apple's proposal. On the back, we will also find just one camera, however, it includes additional sensors for depth scanning that are completely professional. Once again, I think this is a very good feature, unlike Samsung, which offers two cameras. Here we have 12 megapixels with an f1.8 aperture, and if you wanted to record in 4K at 60 frames per second, it's available, although recording with such a large device is not highly recommended. By the way, it's quite remarkable that here we are discussing a USB-C Thunderbolt 3 port, which offers transfer speeds reaching up to 40 gigabits per second. It also allows you to connect an external monitor, making it quite advanced. However, I'll continue to insist that I would prefer having two USB-C ports on some iPads or tablets. Interestingly, with the iPad, Apple does share the battery capacity, but they do so in terms of watt-hours, similar to laptops. And therefore, the battery of this device is, according to Apple's figures, the battery has a capacity of 3899 watt-hours, which offers up to 10 hours of internet browsing. Believe this should not present any issues with autonomy, so in that regard, it is satisfactory. Apple does not disclose the RAM size for this device, but it provides 256 gigabytes of storage. However, it is important to note that a portion of that space is used by the system. In my case, I have installed only two additional applications, and as you can observe, there are currently 257 gigabytes available. It appears to me that Apple ought to provide more storage capacity in such a pricey model. Actually, if you desire double the storage, the price begins to increase significantly. So I genuinely believe that in this regard. We have a reason to complain. However, where there is absolutely no room for complaint is in terms of power. It features Apple's M4 chip, and it's noteworthy that in Geekbench, in the multi-core test, it achieved 13,254 points. This makes it the most powerful device I have tested in this format so far, and in single core it reached 3,766 points. Meanwhile, in Antutu, it scored 2,464,740 points, proving it's a highly powerful device. The inclusion of a processor designed for computers makes this iPad exceptionally powerful. Soon, I'll share the full review. For now, this was a first look. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to let us know and we'll see you next time.